You can hunt wolves again in Wisconsin. The first hunt in years is on right now. It follows the Trump administration's decision to remove the wolf from the endangered species list earlier this year.
Now, hunters see the wolves as predators and are eager to get out and harvest the allotted 200 under guidance provided by the DNR. Animal activists and tribal nations who see the animals as sacred believe the hunt is cruel and rushed. Our Ryan Jenkins filed this report earlier and takes a deeper dive for a 360 perspective.
A wolf hunt in Wisconsin typically runs from November to February, and when federal wildlife officials removed the wolf from the endangered species list, the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources began planning to host a hunt in November 2021. But a Jefferson County judge ordered that wolf hunt to begin immediately. It was in part because of lobbying and this lawsuit brought forth by the organization Hunter Nation. And despite the DNR's efforts to request a stay after the judge's order, the hunt has begun. During a public meeting last week, a DNR administrator was asked if the planning and execution of this hunt was rushed.
Yes. Was there more we would like to do? Yes. Are we confident and comfortable with the quota recommendation we made? I think it could have been. We would have been more confident and more comfortable had we taken more time.
Those in favor of the hunt are already hunting, and those against it are livid. To understand each side of the argument, we're going 360, talking to an indigenous environmental activist, the executive director of the organization Friends of the Wisconsin Wolf and Wildlife, to a Wisconsin farmer who says wolves have proven their ability to kill his livelihood, and to the president and CEO of Hunter Nation, who has helped fund the fight to hold this week's wolf hunt. That's where we start.
State law is very clear. Once the wolf is removed from federal protection, we have the ability to move forward. And it says shall in the state law, not may, shall have a state hunt in Wisconsin from the months of November to February.
Luke Hilgeman's organization Hunter Nation filed this lawsuit after lobbying with lawmakers for a wolf hunt to begin immediately after it became legal. The DNR, for purposes of research, was working to organize a hunt to begin in November. But Hilgeman says wolves are killing livestock and pets and are a threat that must be managed in the Badger State. And he says the traditions of hunting must also be protected.
We need to have a responsible management system. We believe that hunters play a responsible and important role in that management, and we look forward to getting out there and hunting these animals just like we do many others very soon.
Ryan Klusendorf has a dairy farm in Medford, Wisconsin, with about 120 cows. He says in the past, wolves have killed his cows and have become a threat to public safety.
So it does hit close to home for us. We've had a depredation in the past and have dealt with wolf harassments where wolves chase our cattle out to get on the highways.
And he agrees this isn't about eliminating the wolf. It's just about population control.
Myself, and I know other farmers as well, we don't want to see wolves eradicated. We just want to see them be able to be managed and put boundaries back into place because they're not showing fear anymore.
But to Melissa Smith, executive director of Friends of the Wisconsin Wolf and Wildlife, the hunt seems rushed and political, led by Republicans after former President Trump's administration delisted the wolf from the endangered species list just before his term as president ended.
This is truly, let's get in and slaughter and kill as many of these animals as we can because we know that delisting was illegal and that most likely the Biden administration is going to relist the wolf.
Smith and many other animal conservationists believe the Trump administration delisted the wolf before the endangered animal fully recovered from being nearly extinct. And she feels there wasn't a sufficient amount of public input considered when the court ordered the hunt to begin this week.
This isn't based on science at all, and we trust the DNR and we trust the Natural Resource Board to make decisions about wildlife management using science. And this is one of the cases where this is completely politically driven and not driven by best available science or even what the public wants.
To Paul DeMaine, known to many by his tribal name Skabewis, the hunt is offensive. He says to indigenous people, wolves are sacred, the relationship like a brotherhood. And he says outside money and politics should not dictate how the state researches and organizes a hunt.
Coming into Wisconsin and telling us how to run our wolf hunt is kind of like asking Texas for advice about how we ought to control our snow removal process.
He believes many native tribes are not done putting up a fight and says he wouldn't be surprised to see indigenous people buying up some of the 4,000 allotted permits to protest or in the woods making noise to warn the wolves of danger.
This is such a rushed decision. And there's no reason to stay it off for at least one more year. There's no reason at all, except that there's people who are bloodthirsty for a nice trophy on the wall.
Right now, there are an estimated 1,100 wolves in the state of Wisconsin, which is far above the state's management plan of 350. The state's allowing a harvest quota of 200 wolves. I did reach out to the DNR to ask more about the science and organization that goes into a wolf hunt. I was told nobody was available for interview due to pending litigation. The wolf hunt set to last through February 28th. I'm Ryan Jenkins, TMJ4 News.
And in the meantime, the DNR is already working to prepare for a wolf harvest this fall. According to the agency, they plan to coordinate with tribal partners and take public input into consideration. The department says it plans to present its quota recommendation to the Natural Resources Board at its meeting in August. Our Ryan Jenkins has done about a dozen in-depth stories on issues impacting Wisconsin. For those stories and more, you can always head to tmj4.com/360.